Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. This one is captaincy model for game week 19. So before we have a look at the numbers for game week 19, we'll have a brief look at the review of game week 18's numbers. So Salah was top as expected, playing Leicester at home, so he was always going to be top, let's be honest. And he got 9 points. He did manage a goal. The goal was absolutely brilliant, to be fair. But yeah, I suppose one goal is kind of disappointing given what he's done recently. To only get one goal in probably the best fixture that he could possibly get is slightly disappointing. There will have potentially been people that actually triple captained him. Now, I did mention in the video last week that it's not worth using triple captain at all. We will get double game weeks. We will get a double game week to use it. Liverpool themselves will have a double game week when no other team will, apart from Everton, because their fixture was postponed a few weeks ago. So there was no reason to use triple captaincy on this single fixture really. But I know that a few people probably did, and they'll probably be disappointed with 9 points. It's not a blank, but 9 points isn't the best for using that chip. Anyway, then Palmer got 10 points. He scored Chelsea's only goal against Fulham, which they ended up losing the game, but that's not really relevant for this. Odegaard obviously hasn't played yet. Same with Havertz down at number 9. I'm recording this on the day that they play, but they play in the evening, obviously. Then Haaland, right, well, let's talk about Haaland. For those of you that still own Haaland or brought Haaland in for what maybe on paper looked like a good fixture, firstly, I don't think it was a good fixture. We've seen Everton hold Chelsea to a goalless draw, I believe. We've also seen Everton hold Arsenal. Two of the best attacks in the league have not been able to score against Everton. So Dyche seems to have sorted it out defensively anyway. At the start of the season, they were proper whipping boys. They were the ones to target, but nowadays, or the last few weeks, they certainly haven't been anyway. So I think Haaland captain was probably not one to play, especially given that Salah was playing Leicester. But it was very unfortunate. City didn't look great. They haven't looked great for a while, admittedly, but they did get a goal. Bernardo Silva scored it, and then Haaland missed a penalty. So owners or captainers can consider themselves very, very unlucky. Don't know quite what's going on with City at the moment. I don't quite know how Pep's going to change it, but that's not for now anyway. Then Isak keeps ticking along with returns. He scored a hell of a lot of goals recently. He managed one goal in that 3-0 win. Minutes-wise, these were all pretty good. I mean, Salah, Palmer, Haaland, Isak all played good minutes. Trent also got 90 minutes, only managed 2 points because Leicester scored. Diaz didn't get on the pitch at all. He was benched and he didn't come on, so 64 minutes was way off for him. When the likes of Gakpo, Diaz, Jota and Nunes are all fit, it's very, very hard to predict their minutes, especially in these easy fixtures where slot can potentially rotate. So yeah, very, very tough to predict their minutes, and that one was clearly incorrect. Jared Bowen keeps ticking along as well. He's going under the radar. Not many people have got him in their teams, but he does keep ticking along with a goal or an assist most weeks. So he's definitely one to be looking at, and that Southampton fixture was nice, even though West Ham didn't play the best. Havertz, of course, hasn't played yet. And Jackson's minutes you probably won't see in the game week 19 numbers, but I've moved his minutes slightly. The last game against Fulham, he came off at 73 minutes. The game before that, he came off at 75. So I've decreased them a little bit. I think somewhere in the mid-70s is probably about right. That is where he does seem to come off. Obviously, he does come off a little bit earlier sometimes. He obviously does play a little bit longer sometimes, but on average, that seems okay. Either way, he didn't manage a return. So let's now have a look at the game week 19 numbers, because it is quite a tight one this week. Last week was Salah miles ahead, but this week that is not the case. Okay, so I've got these 7 players on screen We'll go through these and then talk about the top 3 after that. So Watkins comes back into this conversation. Now he's been benched for, I think, 3 weeks in a row, maybe even 4. But yeah, for John Duran. But John Duran was sent off against Newcastle at the weekend, so he will not be able to play against Brighton. That means it was actually quite difficult to choose Watkins' minutes. I mean, even when Duran wasn't coming on, Watkins still wasn't getting 90. Now, obviously, Duran genuinely isn't available for the game, so he won't be in the squad, meaning that I'm not sure who does come on for Watkins. So potentially these minutes should be higher, but we've still seen that Watkins doesn't play 90, so it was really tough. I've put him at 83 anyway. That does get him into this list. Now Jackson was in 11th, and it was actually very, very close between the two of them, but Watkins just edged it. It is a good fixture. The Brighton defence isn't kind of doing well at the moment. I've got Verbruggen in my own team, and he has been thoroughly disappointing. They are conceding goals, so Watkins is a pretty good own this week. I mean, it does get murky again when John Duran comes back, so he's a very short-term pick, but for this week, he's brilliant. Trent is in it again. West Ham away. West Ham have been useless this season, as we know. They do seem to just kind of pick up results and pick up goals, though. So, not sure if Trent does keep a clean sheet, but yeah, he is in 9th. Martin Odegaard is in 8th with Brentford away. Now, Brentford is a very good fixture. Brentford defence is not great at all. Brentford are much better when they're playing at home, like this game is. But that has largely been down to the fixtures. I mean, they've had favourable fixtures in their home games to start the season, and their away fixtures have been awful. So part of it is that, but obviously part of it is that they are just generally better at home. So that's why Odegaard isn't further up this list. Also, other teams have very good fixtures this week, so Arsenal's fixture isn't quite as good as the rest. Isak is still in this list as well. Man United away, we have seen what other teams have done to Man United, what Bournemouth have done to Man United, what Wolves did to Man United at the weekend. They are there to be got at for sure. So Isak is a very, very good option for this week. I mean, you'd like to think that the Newcastle attack is probably better than the Wolves attack as well. So, yeah, Man United are definitely there to be got at, and Isak is brilliant for that. Now, Eze comes back into this list. He came back into the Crystal Palace side against whoever they're playing at the weekend. I can't remember who it was. But he came back in. Bournemouth it was, of course, the 0-0 draw. And he played 88 minutes. Now, we hadn't really seen those kind of minutes from him even before the injury, so it was probably a game state thing. If they were maybe 2-0 up, he probably would have come off a bit earlier, but he played 88 minutes, so he looks back to kind of full fitness now. Now, we know that penalties are kind of shared between Mateta and Eze. We don't know who is going to be the penalty taker. Judging by the minutes of the weekend, though, Eze may be on the pitch longer. We know that Glasner has said before that Mateta can't play 90 minutes every game, so yeah, Eze is a good pick until he gets injured again. That's the problem with him. But Southampton at home this weekend is an unbelievable fixture. Then we've got Solanke with Wolves at home. Spurs have got a really good fixture, so we've got Son and Solanke in 4 and 5. Solanke's minutes are probably fine at 88. He does tend to play 90 minutes most games. Son's minutes are an absolute mess at the moment. I mean, he's coming off at half time, he's coming off at the 60th minute, he's then playing 90 minutes. Like, who knows where his minutes are? But when he's on the pitch, he is on penalties, and the Spurs attack is just good. I mean, the Spurs defence is a shambles, we know that. And until they get kind of Romero, Van der Ven, Vicario back, they're just going to be worse than they were before, and they weren't great when they had their full strength team. So yeah, defence is bad, but their attack isn't bad. Their attack is good. So Wolves at home is a very, very good fixture for them. Now let's have a look at the top 3. So Salah, Haaland, Palmer. Palmer has Ipswich away. It's all very close between the 3 of them, by the way. So just 0.24 splits, Palmer in 3rd and Salah in 1st. The minutes I don't think we need to worry about. The minutes I haven't moved these three's minutes in a good few weeks now. That seems kind of bang on. So Ipswich away is a brilliant fixture for Chelsea. Chelsea attack is fantastic, we know this. Palmer is fantastic, we know this. Haaland, I think Haaland's only second because of the fixture, to be honest. If Haaland was playing like Brentford, then he wouldn't be near the top of this list. But Leicester away is such a good fixture that it's hard for him to not be in there, given that he will get fantastic minutes. He is on penalties. City are a mess, for sure, but you'd think they'd be able to put some goals past Leicester. So he is up in second. And then Salah is in first. West Ham away. Now, yeah, as I mentioned when we were talking about Trent, West Ham have not been great this season by any stretch. So I do think that Salah is probably the best option. It is kind of close. I mean, most people will have Salah and Palmer and won't own Haaland at the moment. So the decision is between Salah and Palmer. That's the case for me in my team. At the moment, I am probably on Salah, but it is very, very close, and I think there is merit to going with either of them. So yeah, those are the numbers for Game Week 19. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you think I've missed anyone or got any expected minutes wrong, then again, let me know. If you like the video, do hit like, do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.